Now, a bonus tip for the learners who have went through each and every topic till this particular point of time. So till now, we had seen that we were able to perform our operations at the huge scale, that is 86,400 times. That is what our that main topic was, and we were able to perform those operations. But now, let us try to make our process in such a way that it will not wait for the old thing, and the concept in which we say, in which our this thing does not wait, in which our process does not wait for the values to have those altered, means it doesn't wait for the previous response, is called as asynchronous activities. Okay, so I am going to make my process as asynchronous, in which I am going to pass the values asynchronously and it's going to proceed further. So for that, what I am going to do, I am going to make my process as asynchronous, and similarly I am also going to make my process, this second process, as asynchronous also. And what is this process? This process is my, let me put the name here, this process is my same process. Now the moment I have done so, the moment I have made it as asynchronous, now what does it says? Because this particular process is having multiple things, it is not recommending me as an auto scale. But this particular process, what this particular process has, let me just show you. Now if you read it, it is saying a sub process has been set to that asynchronously and either use loop MI start process which has a built-in load balancing. Correct? Why built-in load balancing? If you will go and understand the concept of execution engines, you will get to know that how our process variables are divided and how the load balancing happens over different engines. Correct? Now this is something for the homework or any other day session. We are not going to divert from the topic. Just try to understand the difference between sub process and the start process, and why the start process used to run asynchronously. And because in sub process, synchronous thing is something which they have introduced recently, because it has an inbuilt load balancing. It runs on the execution engines. Yeah, I think that's much of a suspense for now. Just go and read the differences. So either you can do it, or you can do something. You can, okay, let's first try to save this thing, then I will show you what will happen if I run this thing as an auto scaling process. Now this is something new which they have introduced. Okay, now this is my child process. If I go and if I show you something here, you will see my batch size is 5, my counter is 3, means it is going to have 3 parent processes, and each parent process will have its 5 children, which have its 5 sub processes, which is our batch size. Because I will not say child, it's counter 3 means 1 is a parent and 2 are a child, and then batch size means each parent has a 5 instances of the counters which I introducing there. And what is this 5? Now this is something, the wait time for this particular scheduler. And what is this? This is for the base process model, means let's suppose in this particular process model there are n number of activities which are to be performed and which is not completed yet. So for those kind of activities, okay, now let me do one thing, let me just save it. From draft, left click on save and publish. Okay, the moment I do so, in the process model matrix there is no instance present right now. It is completed and I can see, okay, it consumed 9 AMU, it means it consumed 9 KB. And what is this? This is the same issue which I have told you in Appian, that if it is a scheduler and it has been saved or moved to any instance, it will run automatically. But because we have handled the values here very gently, everything is under the control. Now let me click on save. Let me debug it to this process model, Control D. Now the moment I have triggered this particular process model, let me show you. You can see this my parent process has been started, and this particular parent process has triggered this it will trigger 5 set of activities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the moment this 5 is completed, it is complete. This particular process is completed. It is not waiting for these child processes, and a new process has been triggered. Now this particular process is not waiting for these processes to get completed, correct? It is moving by itself. It's an independent process running. If we proceed further, now this particular process is not waiting for all of these processes to get completed. If we see here, it is not waiting for these processes. These processes are still in the active state. Okay. What happened? No is available. Okay, I don't know what happened, but yeah, something happened, because how it got cancelled, no worries. So you can see here that everything is working perfectly fine here. These all instances what company means. Now they are independent in nature by themselves. They are not waiting for somebody to come and close the instance. And if we deep dive further, we will see for custom trigger, we have these 3 instances, correct? For custom trigger we have these 3 instances, and for perform we have total of 15 instances. Now let's see what will happen if we try to make it as an auto scaling. Okay, let's see what will happen if we try to make it as an auto scaling. The moment I make it as an auto scale, the biggest point is right now I have my audit log. In future, if I'm going to archive these instances, I can come at any point of time. I can open this instance and I can see, okay, that at counter 3 at my 15th index or 15th instance, at this date, something got happened. I can put that thing here and I can archive this instance. But what will happen if I am going to auto scale my process? Everything will remain the same. Let's see. Come here, click on auto scale. The moment I click on auto scale, and you can see that it is not readily available for most of the activities, but the moment I click on OK, you will see only a listed set of operations here. I'm going to click on file, going to click on save and publish, and here we go. Now this particular process is my auto scaled process, and you can also see from this particular icon that my auto scale is enabled. The moment my auto scale is enabled, it will say process data management of this configuration process model is ignored when auto scale is enabled. Means data management configuration of this process model is ignored when auto scale is enabled, and this process data is deleted in 7 days after successful operation completed or 14 days after any error occurred. Correct? Now let me remove all my instances, because for the time being, when my batch size is 5, my counter is 3, 3 times 15, 15 and 3 parenting 18. I have my 18 instances with me and I am able to see every activity what is happening there. But now I have made it auto scale. I am now again going back and going to trigger. Instance is clear. Now I am again going back and I am going to trigger this process model. The moment I trigger this process model, and I will come here to my process activities, I can see that this instance is here. In process model instance, only this instance is here. My auto scale instance is not present here. Even though if I see here, it has then 5 instances. After running 5 instances, After this particular process has 5 instances, but if I go back to my because that was my auto scaled process, so auto scaled process will not be available here, that is not present here. And similarly for the auto scaled processes, I will not be able to capture the audit trail, or I will not be able to archive those processes because of the auto scaling in nature. Let me go to this child. Let me go to this child, and right now here also I can see that 2 instances are completed, 3, 4. So you can clearly see here, even though my instances are cleared, but I cannot see my auto scaled process here. Now that is the beauty, you can say, or that is a drawback, you can say, that for the auto scaled processes there will be no archived instances which you can store into your system. So hope you enjoyed the sessions. You got to know many things new. This was one of the bonus tips for learners who have came this far for learning. Meet soon. Have a good day.